If you're new here, welcome. I'm Tangi, the Feel Good Expert. You're about to watch a full lesson from my signature course, Think Like a Reader, where I teach human design enthusiasts how to think like a professional chart reader and apply human design with confidence. I created this curriculum after nearly a decade of reading charts and teaching students, specifically to address where people tend to get stuck when learning how to interpret this complex system. It was originally developed as a paid program, and I am now releasing it publicly, lesson by lesson, for free here on YouTube. If you are following along with the course, make sure you subscribe so you are notified as each weekly lesson drops. And now let's get into today's lesson. Hello and welcome back. In this series of lessons, we are going to be covering the 5 types in human design, starting with the generator type. But before we dive into that, I want to give you a general overview of the 4 aura shapes and the 5 types. So when we're looking at the types statistically, you'll hear me often say that the generator aura, or anyone with a defined sacral, makes up about 70% of the population. These are statistics that are coming directly from jovianarchive.com. And these are based on currently 434,565 calculations. So if you want to see the most up-to-date statistics, you can do that at jovianarchive.com. But let me go back to this slide. So we've got about 70% of people having a generator aura, meaning a defined sacral, about 22% projector, 10%-ish for the manifestor aura, and 1% for the reflector aura. So as we know, generator is marked by a defined sacral. The difference between a generator and a manifesting generator is a manifesting generator will have a direct motor to throat connection. Projectors cannot have a defined sacral, but they can have any other energy centers defined in their chart as long as they do not have a direct motor to throat connection. If you have an undefined sacral and a motor to throat connection, that makes you a manifestor. So a manifestor can have a defined ego, solar plexus, or root with a connection into that throat center. Lastly, we have the reflector type, are most rare, and that is because they have no defined centers in their chart. So how do all of these different energies work together? In a perfect world, manifestors, who are different than about 90% of people, are the ones that are here to initiate. Once a manifestor has gotten something started for us, the projectors are here to guide the process and manage the energy. Projectors are excellent at systems and understanding where to create efficiencies. Generators and manifesting generators provide the energy and enthusiasm to realize or complete it. You don't want to refer to generators or manifesting generators as worker bees. We don't want to exploit their energy. Manifesting generators and generators are working on projects that give them satisfaction and saying no to anything else that feels frustrating to them. Lastly, we have reflectors, who are different than 99% of people. They're excellent energy readers. So if we're all working together, the openness of a reflector is what gives us the ability to see how well things are going. Everyone else is being guided by their own energy, and reflectors are absorbing and amplifying the energy that's there and telling us how it's going. So that's a general overview of all 5 types. And I know I went through this one quickly. So just a reminder, if you want to look at statistics for human design based on calculations that are coming into the jovianarchive.com website, you can pull up this type statistics at any time if you scroll a little bit further. And this is under the resources tab, by the way. So if you go to jovianarchive.com, click on the resources drop down, you'll see rave statistics as one of the options. The first thing you'll see are the types, but if you scroll down, you'll also see percentages of profile numbers, incarnation crosses, and many other things. So it's a great resource to look at statistics in the human design community. So we have 5 types, but only 4 aura shapes. A lot of times people will ask me, why do generators and manifesting generators get lumped together? They're very different types, because they both have that same aura shape of open and enveloping. They are pulling opportunities, environments, and people in their direction so that they can check in with their gut in order to respond. So it is that sacral center, which both have defined and no other type has defined, that gives them the information that they need in order to move in the direction of satisfaction. They're both going to have this compass of satisfaction versus frustration. That's why we wait to respond. We want to put that energy that comes up when we respond in the direction of satisfaction, and we want to say no to things that are confusing or frustrating. So the 4 different auras, generator and manifesting generator, have the same aura shape. Projector has a focused and absorbing aura. Manifester has a closed and repelling aura, and reflector has a sampling and resistant aura. When you understand your aura and how it functions and put it in context with the other aura types in human design, you start to be able to speak directly to their listening. You start to be able to guide your clients in different ways and really help them find their inner compass for aligning their energy, protecting their aura, and making decisions that are compatible with their unique energetic expression. So let's dive into the generator type. And after this, the next lesson after this one will be manifesting generator. So you'll be able to see those nuanced differences between these 2 types. The generator aura, you enjoy bringing energy to others. Your aura draws people in. Your gut is highly sensitive. Your sensitivity is what allows you to manage your energy. Generators have to listen to their gut and honor their desires and what is pleasurable to them, rather than saying yes to things that they feel they should do. When you get into the shoulds, you're up in the crown and ajna center. When you're following what feels most satisfying or pleasurable, that's when you're in the gut. Again, the shape of the aura is open and enveloping in the generator type. So generators' creative life force energy dominates the frequency of the planet. Like I said, approximately 70% of all people are sacrally defined. And generators and manifesting generators will always have that center colored in. Any center can be colored in a generator chart, as long as they don't have a channel that connects a motor to the throat center. Once you have a motor to throat connection with a defined sacral, that is when it becomes the manifesting generator type, because the throat is our center for manifestation. They can still have a defined throat, but they won't have that motorized energy to back up that sense of manifestation and creation. So they'll stay as a generator type. The strengths of a generator. Generator strengths are embodiment. They're able to consistently trust their gut responses. They feel what is correct and satisfying with their entire body. And you can trust that your body as a generator will speak to you in levels of excitement and enthusiasm. Generators can be very decisive because they do have immediate access to respond to yes or no questions or options or opportunities. They'll feel pulled in the direction of what is right for them and pushed away from misaligned people, places, or things. Gut responses are empowered and clear. If it doesn't feel empowered or clear, it is probably coming from not self or some other center that is not the authority. Generators are highly creative, and that energy radiates out of them. That defined sacral, that feeling of pleasure and satisfaction is what makes that generator aura attractive to others. Pure sacral devotion leads to mastery of aligned opportunities. So that means you are getting that energy in your system and you're putting it in the direction of satisfaction always. And when entered correctly, generators have steady, sustainable energy to see commitments through to completion. So many times I'll have generators ask, well, I'm not good at finishing things that I started. And we want to always ask the question, was it entered correctly? Were you responding with your gut? And were you really feeling compelled and called to move energy in that direction rather than following an impulse or a should or what you think is right or conditioning?
Quick note before we continue, if you are watching this and realizing you want to go deeper or move faster, this entire course is already available inside my Chart Readers Hub, along with live calls, past masterclass replays, and an active reader community. You'll find the link in the description below.
Awarenesses that generators may need to take a look at are overthinking, trying to make things happen despite feeling depleted because they are mentally attached to a certain outcome. Generators may question their initial gut response. And a lot of times, when you move that energy to the mind into judgments, good, bad, right, or wrong, you lose sight of what that initial gut response was. Generators fall into the trap of allowing others to take advantage of their energy or energy exploitation. When a generator ignores their gut responses and do what others say they should be doing instead of what they truly desire, what brings them satisfaction or pleasure. And when generators enter into commitments that aren't aligned in order to appease others, generators are going to move into that feeling of frustration. Lastly, things that generators should be aware of are engaging when the energy isn't there, pushing through discomfort in order to just get the job done, feeling pressure to finish a project no matter what when the satisfaction is no longer there, and forcing creativity even when they are feeling drained. Generators thrive when they get that feeling of lit upness. They want nothing more than to be energized and excited by their endeavors. Feeling lit up provides that sustainable energy that is needed to commit. So, what you need to do as a generator is trust your gut, learn to say no to things that aren't aligned, honor your excitement and enthusiasm, maximize your energy each day, and learn to say yes to your desires, your satisfaction, and your pleasure. So, how to manage that energy and protect the aura? We have, again, the 5 different types and their different strategies. So, your strategy in human design tells you how to manage energy and protect your aura. Making aligned decisions is your authority. Strategy always comes prior to authority. So, generators and manifesting generators are waiting to respond. Projectors are waiting for an invitation. Manifestors are informing, and reflectors are waiting a lunar cycle. And we're going to go deeper into all 5 types in the upcoming lessons. But as far as a generator strategy goes, their open aura naturally calls in opportunities when they're aligned with their signature theme of satisfaction. In order to feel satisfied, a generator has to give their body an opportunity to respond, which means waiting. You'll know what you have the energy for based on how energized you feel when you are presented with something to respond to. Committing that energy to aligned opportunities creates that feeling of satisfaction. And again, the opposite of satisfaction for a generator is frustration. So we're looking for levels of excitement and enthusiasm, energy, pleasure. And in order to do that, we have to pull back our energy and wait to respond. So, how to wait to respond? Feel into the energy, honor your gut sounds. I often call those caveman sounds, the grunts, the noises you make when you're eating. Become of opportunities you feel attracted to versus turned off by. Have a little bit more fun. Spend your spare time engaging in activities that fill you with energy and excitement. Your satisfaction doesn't always have to come from the biggest things in life. It doesn't always have to be that relationship, that career opportunity. It can be smaller things like the things that you choose to eat or wear in a day, which goes right along with my next point. Start small. Measure your gut responses to seemingly insignificant decisions. Be open. Intentionally create those openings in your day to observe what you will be effortlessly pulled into through your aura. So, a sacral response for clarity does not feel like this. If you can explain it in words, it is not your sacral. Your sacral gives you satisfaction and responses in levels of excitement and gut sounds. It does not try to create logic, ration, or explanations for why it wants to do what it wants to do. It is an embodied response. When your sacral is turned off by an opportunity, you'll try to rationalize the problem other places by saying, well, it's because I didn't get enough sleep, or I'm feeling anxious or depressed, or I can't focus, or I'm overthinking. Maybe it's my diet. A lot of times we'll move into our not self centers when we're not feeling satisfied as generators. So Being able to follow these steps and create those openings in your day for yourself or your clients, if you're not a generator, is what is going to help create the space for larger opportunities when they come in and create lots and lots of clarity on how to move that energy. Get curious before you commit your energy to anything. If you're sacrally defined, ask the question, what was my initial gut response? Does this opportunity create satisfaction for me? And am I making this decision with my mind or with my body? And again, you know it's your mind if it's trying to give you reason, logic, or some kind of long-winded explanation. Your gut will give you energy, sustainable energy to commit to the opportunity. So each of the types has their alignment theme, which I've mentioned a few times. It's your signature and not self theme. So generators, manifesting generators, their signature theme, the way that they know that they are living according to their strategy and their aura is that feeling of satisfaction with life. The way that they know they're out of alignment is frustration, and each of the types has their own signature and not self theme. In projectors, we see success versus bitterness. Manifestors, we see peace versus anger. And in reflectors, we see surprise versus disappointment. So the generator, not self theme and signature theme specifically are telling you how to know you're in alignment with your strategy. So frustration is the feeling of being upset or annoyed, especially because of the inability to change or achieve something. You'll know you're in that feeling of frustration when you feel like there is a problem to be solved or a question to be answered. You'll feel as though something is missing. You'll feel stuck. You'll feel dissatisfied. Satisfaction is the fulfillment of one's wishes, expectations, or needs, or the pleasure derived from this. You know that you're satisfied when you feel complete, gratified. You're going to feel a state of contentment where all of your desires have been met. You're going to feel like your energy was used up, and you're going to feel as though your wishes, expectations, or needs have been met. So that is the generator theme in a nutshell. Some awarenesses that you want to have with generator clients is to consistently remind them that strategy comes first and that strategy is waiting to respond. The gut does not respond in long sentences or words. They need to be able to approach their day by gauging their levels of excitement versus depletion, their levels of satisfaction versus frustration. The next type that we're going to cover is the manifesting generator. So we're going to look at some of the very nuanced differences between the generator and the manifesting generator, but we will again cover the themes of satisfaction versus frustration in the manifesting generator type so that each of these modules can be a standalone lesson that you can refer back to. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next lesson.
On the screen, you'll see the lessons I recommend watching next based on your learning path. If something in this lesson shifted the way you're thinking, I'd love to hear what stood out to you most. You can share that in the comments. Liking the video and subscribing helps this course continue reaching the people it's meant for, and the questions subscribers ask here often shape what I teach next. Lastly, if you want to study this work inside a live reader community, you'll find Chart Readers Hub is linked in the description.